You're watching Crypto Trader on CNBC Africa, the world's first televised cryptocurrency investment show. We've had a stable week on the markets this week. Joining me in studio today is Matt Owen and Marcus Swanepoel. Matt, stable week on the markets. Started off with the news from China.
Yeah, so as you can see, it has been stable for the last couple of days, but it did recover after a sharp drop-off that happened just over, well, for the last 2 weeks really. And yeah, I was feeling that the market was a bit oversold, so it bounced back quite strongly. And yeah, over the last couple of days, it's been in a bit of a consolidation phase, I could say.
So in true crypto style, the market went down to what everyone thought was going to be the end of crypto. It wasn't the end of crypto, and 24 hours later, the Bitcoin price bounces back to almost $4,000. It's been hovering there. What do you think the next move is?
Yeah, so I think it's been consolidating, and depending on what happens with the volumes, if they pick up, I think we could see it continue its upward trend. But yeah, it all depends on what the market feels.
If you look at Twitter these days, you've got the guys that are calling it back up like a rocket, and then you've got the other guys who are saying, look, it's reached the double top and it's going to start going down again. And you know, the funny thing is I've seen chartists draw the rocket up and draw the rocket down. So Matt, I'm putting you on the spot here. Are we looking at a rocket up or are we looking at a rocket down?
I'm thinking that there may be a bit of a correction before it rockets up.
And when you say a bit of a correction, put your money on a Bitcoin price. Correction to where?
I would say around 3,700 before it starts its upward trajectory again.
So 3,700 is your number, and then it's going to go up again.
That's what I think.
Great. Let's talk about the other tokens. So you've got Ethereum. Ethereum struggling to reach $300 again.
Yeah. So Ethereum, it's when the market kind of crashed, it did fall below just below 200, and it's recovered a fair bit since then to just under 300, but. It's struggling along like a lot of the other cryptocurrencies out there after the market sell-off.
What about NEO? So NEO, the Chinese version of Ethereum, or what we like to call the Chinese version of Ethereum, they claimed that they're not that on our show last week. It's also struggling to get up again. It was up at $40 at one stage, back down at 20, struggling to get up.
Yeah, so NEO was always going to be negatively impacted by the China bans and whatnot. But they're having their first ICO launching on top of the NEO network. It's called Red Pulse, and that's happening in the next couple of weeks. So we'll see how that goes.
But how is that happening? If you've got NEO that's not allowed to do ICOs in China, NEO is based in China, where's Red Pulse based?
Red Pulse is based in Hong Kong, so it's a completely autonomous location as opposed to China. So they haven't allowed any Chinese mainland residents to participate in this ICO.
What about ARK? Now, I was watching ARK when the market was going down, and ARK was going up. What's going on?
Yeah, so ARK is quite an interesting one. They aim to kind of be the bridge between blockchains. So essentially, when it comes to blockchains, they act generally by themselves, and they limited options to kind of interact between blockchains. So ARK is aiming to be the bridge between blockchains in general. So people have been quite bullish, and then when the whole market was crashing, they released a new roadmap, which was quite comprehensive and detailed, and people were quite bullish about it. And the other thing is that they are a delegated proof of stake model, and through that model, a lot of people that hold the tokens hold them within the ecosystem. So they weren't able in a short time frame to kind of pull those out and kind of sell them on the platforms. So as a result, the price has been increasing quite nicely over the last few months.
Let's look at some other news in Bitcoin or blockchain. We've got Marcus Swanepoel with us. Marcus is the founder and CEO of Luno. Marcus, you guys raised $9 million in a Series B funding. Tell us about what you need this money for.
Look, as we all know, digital currencies and cryptocurrencies are at a very exciting stage. There's unprecedented demand across the board, no matter what country you look at. If we look at our metrics, up and to the right everywhere. it's still particularly, quite difficult for people to access the digital currencies. For all of us sitting here, and maybe some of the viewers are, they already have their wallet set up and they have trading accounts. But for the next 100 million people, the next 1 billion people, those people all need to get access to it. So essentially, we're using this money to make that onboarding process even easier, the funding process easier, faster. We'll spend some of that around Bitcoin education and digital currency more broadly. And of course also to expand into other markets. We're now in 40 markets, and we'd like to extend that over time.
So you've got some very high-profile investors in your company. Who are some of these investors?
So our Series A was led by Naspers, which many people know is one of the biggest tech investors in the world. Very well known for being the biggest investor in Tencent, which is based in China. So that's quite interesting. We also have in our Series A around Ventura Capital, which is a big Southeast Asia fund, and DCG, Barry Silbert and the folks over there. Yesterday we announced a Series B round with 2 new investors coming in. The first being Balderton Capital, which is one of the big European investment funds. We've known them for a couple of years, super excited to have them on board. And of course also Rand Merchant Investments, which is a South African financial conglomerate through AlphaCode. They also came into the round.
So when I look at your platform, at the moment and for the longest time I can remember, you can only trade Bitcoin.
Yes.
And the people are saying to you, we want other currencies. Are we going to get other currencies on Luno?
Yes, so you are right that the people are asking a lot.
A lot?
A lot, yeah. And it's accelerated over the past couple of months. We are actively working on some things, but I can't say exactly what.
So when can we start trading other currencies on your platform in South Africa?
Just if you keep on asking, it'll happen quick.
If I keep on asking,
yeah, just send me another email, another WhatsApp. No, we acknowledge there's a big demand for this stuff, and we look actively working on some stuff.
So last week we saw China banning Bitcoin trading. You guys are expanding into many markets. You already are in 40 markets. What are the regulators in other markets saying about platforms like Luno actually working in the market?
Yeah, look, we've over the years built up very strong relationships with many of these regulators. I think the tone, generally speaking, is that they're being quite pragmatic about it. I don't think there's any regulator in the world that's jumping up and down and going, oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened, can't wait for it to go massive. But they are at least giving it time to develop, to see how one does regulate it. Of course, many companies like ourselves self-regulate. We do KYC, we do AML. In fact, we spend a ton of money and time on building these systems out. And so that also gives them some comfort. So depending on where in the world who you talk to, I think there's obviously a continuum of views. But generally speaking, I think there's at least many people are being open about it, and over time we will figure it out together.
So guys, I'm going to ask you both the question. Do we think that Bitcoin trading in China is finished? Matt, do you think Bitcoin trading in China is finished forever?
No.
No. When do you think they're going to bring it back?
That's a hard one to answer. I don't quite have an answer on that front.
Marcus, Bitcoin trading in China, gone forever?
Definitely not gone forever. All three of us at this table have been through this a million times before. It'll be back, I think, even before December.
So I don't know if you guys remember, but the guy that actually broke the story about the China ban on Twitter was Charlie Lee, when he posted that picture of himself in that huddle shirt, which said that he had it on good authority that people in China were going to ban Bitcoin trading in China. And the whole of Twitter slandered him, and he took off the tweet. Charlie Lee, why did you take down the tweet?
Well, I removed the tweet because I was kind of sick and tired of reading all the comments of people replying saying that I'm creating more FUD. So all I was trying to do was to just let the world know that that I know that the Chinese are going to ban Bitcoin trading or cryptocurrency trading in general, and I didn't want to create more FUD. I wasn't trying to create more FUD. I was actually trying to tell people the truth and letting people know it before the news actually came out. But I got tired of people just being mad and even like sending me death threats and stuff. So I just deleted it and kind of just said, just let it happen.
So you deleted that tweet, but then you posted another tweet insinuating that OKCoin and Huobi would soon be banning trading anyway. What did you know back then?
When BTC came out with the news that they actually are going to stop trading, OKCoin and Huobi said that they didn't hear anything about it and they're going to proceed as normal. And a lot of people were saying, oh, this is not Chinese banning trading, but it's just Chinese shutting down BTCC because they listed an ICO coin. And I wanted to make it clear that that's not the case, because it's just that Huobi and OKCoin have not really talked to the regulators yet. So once they talk to the regulators, you will find out that they will have to shut down also.
But what did you know? You must have known something. Who had you spoken to?
I spoke to quite a few people in China. So the thing about, it's weird, the Chinese news, China news and like the Western world, there's kind of a disconnect where things will be known in China, and because of, I guess, language barriers and stuff, it just doesn't get across the borders of the country, and people outside would just refuse to believe it, or they would just create like FUD around it. They would just create their own version of it. So I was trying to kind of set that straight.
But did the People's Bank of China actually issue a statement? Did they go to the exchanges? How does it work in China?
They issued a statement on September 4th. And the statement was to the effect that ICOs are illegal, that people cannot do ICOs and cannot trade ICO tokens. And part of that statement, they also kind of hinted that cryptocurrency trading is also banned. But the way they wrote it led to multiple interpretations. And one interpretation is just that ICO token trading is banned. The other interpretation is that all cryptocurrency trading is banned. And people wanted to believe that all day shutdown was ICO trading, so they actually accepted the interpretation saying that the ICO tokens are banned. But in reality, the government actually did come out and say all cryptocurrency tokens are trading is banned.
Your brother holds a high-profile position at BTC China. Had you spoken to him?
I was talking to him, but I was also talking to a lot of other people in China also. So
what does this mean for crypto in China? Is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading now banned, totally banned in China?
I would say cryptocurrency trading is banned in China, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Potentially they could license exchanges to do cryptocurrency trading in the future and open up again. But for now, the trading is completely banned. Whether or not the actual currency using like writing a note is banned, there's conflicting reports on that, and we'll find out more information in the future. But for now, cryptocurrency trading is banned. And the reason why China did this is because the recent ICO craze has caused too much volatility and too much risk. This is what I believe. I think it's just become too hard to handle for the government, because if there's people losing a lot of money, it could cause social unrest. So they wanted to kind of keep this, keep people from doing risky activities.
What does this mean for people who work at exchanges or who own exchanges? I mean, are they just going to shut down and fire everyone?
BTCC has a international exchange, so they're still running that. They have their mining pool business. They have their physical Bitcoin business. So they still have businesses. It's just that they're shutting down their BTC China exchange in China. So yes, it's a big blow to them, but I think they'll survive.